one of the most important freedoms that we have, and it is a necessity for us today to talk about the freedom of speech, which is commonly known as civil discourse. Welcome to the program. Gamma Coffee is my name. Africa on Trial is the program on the umbrella of the African Voices International. Is freedom of speech important? Why do we need freedom of speech? Does it help? Is it being practiced the way it should be? That's the reason why we are having this time to say, let's just talk about the importance of freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, it's an element from the right to offend. For us to say how we feel, we need to know that there is a side of that freedom of speech which is offensive. But the question might be, should we just look at the offensive part as bad, or we can also think of it as something that helps us to develop? When someone speaks and we've been offended, should we just hold on to the offense? There must be something that we can learn despite the offensive. We have to see things beyond what the person or a group of people have said. How best we can have a civil conversation in a democratic society. Freedom of speech plays an important role in a democratic society today. It's how we develop, it's how we create new ideas. Freedom of speech comes with an offensive element to it, which is not just for the destruction, it is for the development and the progressive of a community or a society. The communities, the societies that allow their citizens to come out freely and say the way they feel, they are the societies and communities that develop together. 200 years ago, if someone could have come and say, I do not believe in God, we could have considered that to be offensive. 100 years ago, if someone could have come and say that men should have sex with men, we could have found that offensive. But today, the societies, the communities, through freedom of speech, we've seen progressive communities. Freedom of speech, it's one of the freedom that has given birth to a lot of freedoms. People first have to feel free to speak their mind for something to change. Freedom of speech, it's very important. It's on the center of all other freedoms that we think of. For someone to know what we need, we always have to communicate. The conversations that we have, it's all in the freedom of speech. The person who listens to our grievances, the person who listens to what we are saying, before they get offended, they need to try to understand and see how best we can work together as a community. Africa on Trial is the program under the auspices of African Voices International. The topic, importance of freedom of speech. The right to offend gives birth to the freedom of speech. Everything that we are benefiting from, even the world to be created, first of all was the freedom of speech that God said, let there be light. And there was light. Freedom of speech progresses humanity. In this case, we cannot just talk about the importance of freedom of speech without talking about the right to offend and the duty to offend. It's our responsibility as citizens in a community or in a society to bear in mind that our offensive should be only the one that is progressive. Anyone who cares for the importance of freedom of speech, anyone who believes that humanity only progressive through being criticized or complimented, has a duty to speak offensively, knowing that progress is the product of free speech. Gamma Coffee is my name. Love you all.